People are running away because Fulani are about to enter our village. We don't know what we have done wrong, but people are dying. People are busy running. You can see me, I'm in the picture, so I don't know what's going on. I'm inside the picture. You see people are running with their children. Right now they are shooting guns in our place. People are trying to escape with their children.
All right, so sure. So in case you're wondering where that is coming from, that now the situation of people for rural community for inside the Riom local government area of Plateau State. And from the reports where we gather, we hear say this now how they use start their Easter celebration this morning because it started with them running up and down with their families, as they say, headsmen or suspected headsmen being one attack them this in fact begin attack their community this morning, and I saw all of them begin pick race. For so many of them, for inside that role Joel community for Rium local government area of Plateau States. They feel no go church today, some of them. They feel no even conduct mass today because now the way then you start their day with that. Welcome to Updated Precious. Always excited to be with you and tell on the things then when they happen for inside the country. But sharply make a let you know. See today for inside the show, I get with me Prince Francis Chilaka. Prince Francis, thank you so much as you oblige me. And so sorry, see, I start very late. Don't worry, we're going to make this very fast and quick. The idea is just to bring Nigerians, make them be abreast with things so they happen for inside the country. So let me just run you guys through some of the headlines that we have today. We hear say Malami and others really for inside the CPC block of the APC that they've been plotting to remove Tinubu since 2024. So they're not even alarmed to even reach 1 year in office before they started plotting to remove him. We'll look at that matter. Looking at other issues, death toll hits 56 in Benue as Governor Alia begs Tinubu for action. Meanwhile, we also hear, we hear on a gossip, them say, oh, I cannot confirm because I've not been able to confirm it, that a section of the community even booed him. Tell us, go, 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 we don't need your help, go, we don't need your help. I don't know why they had to boo their governor. We also heard that gunmen have adopted 6 travelers from inside Kwara State. In fact, we even hear say the new terrorist organization they don't begin show themselves for inside Niger, Sokoto, and Kwara State this period. Stray cows will be slaughtered, fed to prisoners. Now, so Ghana say they go use tackle their malu rearing. So no Fulani herdsmen drama. Anybody will be say carry drama for uh, rearing of cow, waka anyhow. Say they go slaughter them give them to prisoners to use chop. But Nigeria, can they take that decision? That a question will be say a lot of us go fit answer because if you look at what thing they go on, you could just begin ask yourself some questions. 8 gunmen, 9 don't ambush a particular vehicle, abduct 7 for inside Kwara State and attack them. And moving on for other things, NDLEA said they don't intercept cocaine where they hide inside Saudi Arabia bound religious books. So an Islamic religious book where they won't carry go Saudi Arabia, they hide cocaine inside. And you just be wondering what is going on. This kind of criminality and crime, it be like saying they no face and religion anymore. Nigeria is burial ground for good intentioned people. So anybody will get good intention, Nigeria will bury you, kill you. Who talk this one? Omoyele Shawari. Now talk this one. We go look why in talk am. But going on to other issues now, Bishop Kukah don't come out, can't talk. He say, Oga President, oh, do something because Nigeria don't they become mortuary. That's so death just dey happen for Nigeria. Nigeria don't they become mortuary. Save us from this cross of evil. And so Bishop Kukah they tell. Then Bakare too in friend, don't tell him we be Pastor Tunde Bakare. Don't say Nigeria is descending into tyranny, abuse of power under Tinubu. Say Nigeria they descend into tyranny and abuse of power. He said Tinubu is playing God, turning Nigeria into mafia state. Yay! Okay, moving on to other issues. Obedient Movement now appoint interim state coordinating council for Kaduna State. That's make them to the news. Arawa Youth Council don't disown Atiku statement. Say that thing where Atiku talk. Say will not follow. So Arawa Youth Council disowns Atiku statement, right? Okay. Moving on. 2027 PDP chieftains don't kick as party leaders endorse Tinubu. All party leaders for PDP they endorse Tinubu. Is there an opposition at all? Oil resumption. Don't be listed among Ogoni oppressors who must stop. Don't they caution Tinubu. This one what we hear say be like say you want start to begin drill oil for inside Goni land again without completing all the things then when they say more complete. no become our enemy on so going people they tell President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Rivers crisis group don't seek UN intervention to save democracy for Nigeria. They say a particular group don't work enter inside United Nations. Say I beg you be like say now only on go fit save this issue. We get to do with democracy for inside Nigeria, inside River State. And there's an exclusive conversation of how police don't arrest Nigerian soldier and one other person we be say thief. They involved in car theft. Nigerian soldier with one other person where they involved in car theft. Okay, so if you remember during Wike's media parley, he did accuse or perhaps mention about Falono, people like Falono being a liar or something like that. Falono don't reply and say, "I am not a liar. I didn't lie against the Supreme Court. You don't tell him waiting and waiting you do." We will look into that matter too. And then speaking about Nnamdi Kanu matter, stop false narratives, media manipulation against Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. Family don't want federal government. Say, we're gonna stop this false narrative against Nnamdi Kanu. All this matter now we carry come this evening. Thank you so much once again, Prince Francis Chilaka, for joining me. So let's start with the issue of what happened to people in Rium local government area today as they begin run up and down this Sunday morning because of the attack of purported or alleged headsmen. This again, now for those who know see
So, this is what is going on in Jaw right now. People are running away because Fulani are about to enter our village. We don't know what we have done wrong, but people are dying. People are busy running. You can see me, I'm in the picture, so I don't know what's going on. I'm inside the picture. You see people are running with their children. Right now they are shooting guns in our place. People are trying to escape with their children.
Okay, so Prince Francis Chilaka, what a way for people to use start as the celebration of Easter, the resurrection of Christ. Considering say most people from inside this community are predominantly Christians. What will be your reaction to this conversation or to this ordeal of the people of
Well,
Plateau State?
you know, let's say the truth the way it is. Nigeria is gradually becoming a killing field.
Hmm.
Nigeria is a country gradually descending into anarchy.
Hmm.
When I looked at that, when I watched that video, the first thing that came to my mind is, where are the youths in these communities? What has happened to the youths in these communities? All I see people running are children and women. Where are the men?
Hmm.
And in taking this question further, it brings to mind what I think has happened in the Southeast, where a lot of the young people in the Southeast, a lot of the youths, a lot of the young adults and young men have either been arrested, abducted, killed, or imprisoned and illegally detained. And we always use IPOB and ESN as a reason for doing this. Yet, this same Nigeria, that a lot of us will open our mouth and say, we believe in one united Nigeria. We are proud of being in Nigeria. It is in this same Nigeria, in the last few days, we were told about 300 and something repented Boko Haram fighters
Let me free them.
have been reintegrated back into the society.
Because he had graduated from the DRR program of the federal government.
So who is fooling who?
Hmm.
Yes, who is fooling who? It is in this same country that you have a man who calls himself a governor, a man who has taken an oath to protect the lives and properties of his citizens, of his people. He acknowledges the fact that his people are being butchered like chicken. If I say goat, goat will struggle. But chicken, most times, don't even understand. Before you say Jack Robinson, the neck is off. Yet, this same man who calls himself a governor is asking the people not to retaliate.
Now, speaking about a particular governor, so sorry for jumping in a little bit there. We hear now that the death toll has hit 56 in that state, which is Benue State, as Governor Alia has begged the president now to come and intervene in the matter, and he has urged the federal government to take a decisive action against the escalating insecurity in the state, following recent attacks by suspected headsmen in Ukum and local government area of the state, where 56 lives so far, I've just.
In the midst of losing these 56 lives in Benue, we have lost, I think, about going to double that number
140 in
in
total
Plateau State.
in Plateau State within the past. That's
We
it.
have lost some in Sokoto. We have lost some in Kaduna. We are
Zamfara.
moving down to Kwara. We hear that it's gotten to a point where even the water priestess is being kidnapped.
That was in Enugu State, sir.
And everybody just thinks that this thing is a joke. And that is where it pains me. The steps and decisions being taken by the federal government, to a large extent, shows that the federal government is culpable in this insecurity that is going on. You can't have a country where some people believe they have a right to arm themselves. They have a right to kill others. They have a right to run over others and take over their ancestral land.
So do you think it's about culpability?
And when they do that, and in the course of doing that, some of them get arrested. And the same government that is telling you that they want to curb insecurity will tell you that, oh, these guys were indoctrinated. So we need to put them in a rehab and get them sorted out and bring them back. And yet, you deeply believe that this so-called repentant Boko Haram, or whatever you want to call them, you believe deep down that they will add value to the society. And you do not see that when you keep using that phrase, when you keep applying that method of handling a killer, don't you think that you are encouraging other people to go into that same line of business?
Okay, so I was going to ask you earlier before, do you think this is about the federal government being culpable? Is it about culpability or the fact that they're just helpless, or perhaps they haven't gotten the right tactics to handle this? So he thinks just because of their hand inside, and I just say they never really get the right style and method to handle these issues.
No, I want to totally disagree with that. The Nigerian army is known as one of the best in peacekeeping in the world.
So they're not overwhelmed?
So people respect them. Countries respect them. So how come they are able to take out a ragtag militia? It simply shows you that the government does not have the political will to end insecurity.
But this precedes this administration. It didn't start with this administration. It precedes this
administration. It doesn't matter. See, governance is a continuum. And we need to get that into our heads. These things that, the presidents and governors and the senators are doing is what governance is. It is shambles. Governance is continuum. And that is why people will say, soldier come, soldier go, the barrack remains. So our leaders must understand that this idea of, a leader starting a project of, say, a 40-kilometer road, for instance, and then he leaves office, a new governor comes in, rather than completing that 40-kilometer road, he turns his back to it and start another one of 20 kilometers. Is that not the height of stupidity?
So it should be a
Agreed.
continuum.
Agreed. I totally agree that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu inherited this insecurity. But do you know why I blame him more? I blame him because it is from his own political party. A party that before he became a president, he was known as the national leader. So if the same president spent 30 years preparing himself to become a leader, it means that in that 30 years, he should have studied some few issues, some few sectors should be at the back of his hand.
Okay, apologies. We need to run with this because I have other issues to jump in on very quickly, so we don't keep people waiting. It's already getting late. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sir. So moving on to other aspects of insecurity in the state, we had 7 passengers traveling from Abuja to Kwara State were abducted on Saturday along Obo Ayangule Road in Ekiti, local government area of Kwara. That's it. Yeah, Ekiti, local government area of Kwara State. That's where it happened. So the battle has reached Kwara State. It's now
Uh,
in Kwara State. And yeah, about 7 people were abducted. About 7 people were abducted. And that 3 children of the abducted victims were, however, later released by the unidentified kidnappers. According to reports, that's, gathered by newsmen today, Sunday. The abduction occurred between about 5 p.m. yesterday to 6 p.m. while the passengers were on board a Sienna vehicle owned by Ulumo Express Transport Company heading to Ofa from Abuja. Remember Ofa, right? All attempts made so far by the local vigilante to rescue the victims were unsuccessful. So perhaps they'll be asking them for money. And of course, the SP has also confirmed the incident. That is in, yeah, the police spokesperson in the state. This has become one case way too many. I mean, in Sokoto State also heard something similar. Like we've just been hearing a pocket of those attacks and all of those. What can we do differently now? Especially from communities that are suffering this herdsmen menace. See what Ghana is doing. The Ghanaian government has warned that there must be an end to anyhow grazing, as a matter of fact, and that any cow seen strolling anyhow would be slaughtered and fed to prisoners. When will Nigeria be able to take such decisive action? That kind of action will be say they know say they don't do to handle cattle rearing like a private business that it is.
well, it starts with your National Assembly. It starts with those you have given your sovereignty to, your National Assembly, the honorable members, and the senators. These are issues and areas that Nigerians expect them to be legislating upon. But are they doing that? We saw how it just took the waving of the fingers or the waving of the hand for a state of emergency to be declared
In
in
River
River
State.
State.
Oh, we're going to get to that case.
So why is it that this same government have not seen the need to declare a state of emergency in all the states that are troubled by insecurity?
Why do you think? Why do you think even with the cry of insecurity, the government has been a bit not being responsive in handling in terms of ensuring they call for state of emergency in these states? The things happening in this state was it close to what happened in River State before
Well,
a state of
you know,
emergency was declared?
like I keep saying, what happened in River State was power tossing. the power tussle between Wike and Fubara. And the beneficiary of that power tussle, which is the president. And when I say it's the beneficiary, I like to remind Nigerians, when the president called for settlement of this matter, we recall that all he did was to read out 8 conditions to Fubara. In that document, he never asked or mentioned that Wike should allow the governor to function the way he should function. He never asked Wike to stop manipulating the 27 State House of Assembly members. That is on one side. And in recent times, with what is playing out, if you listen to the interview Wike had a few days back, I don't call it interview, I just call it, when the man just wants to showcase himself.
It's a media palace.
He sits in the luxury of his house, and he calls the pressmen that he has settled, and he talks to them like a demigod, and nobody asks him questions that makes sense. So obviously, you know that first and foremost, the media houses are selected, the questions are designed, and then if you listen to what he said, he wanted the governor to go. But Mr. President
saved him. He said Rivers people are supposed to be worshipping the president for saving their son.
It is what is playing out now. That is why, if you listen to the Easter message delivered by Fubara, you will be disappointed.
Yes, he's telling Rivers people to support the president. I didn't want to add that to
no, because
he said Rivers people support the president and the president's renewed hope agenda. In fact, now that you've mentioned this, just very quickly to remind you, there's also this gossip making the round that there may be the likelihood of 4 governors from the South, and Southeast joining the APC to help Tinubu win presidency or presidential election in 2023. And Pastor Emoeno, the Akwa Ibom State governor, was mentioned. And going by what he said recently, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to win second term. Is it way making ABF from affect them? Is it surprising to you to know that he may be quoted as part of those? The second person is Oborewori, and we know that Remi Tinubu is from Delta State, according to sources. Could it not also be that there may be some sort of lobbying where they don't do to make sure, say, if the first lady states no vote for the president for second term, you know, go good at all. That's not the second one. The third one, Mba, say Mba already. Say when he one commission project, and the president is called to commission project. So you already be like, say, in there for everybody and for nobody, in terms of the fact that he's not really loyal to the APC as a PDP as a party. So are you surprised? And then that of Fubara too, these 4 governors. So is it how do you think that rumor may have an atom of truth in it? And if that rumor eventually play out, say Fubara the camp go APC, you think say you will still get this massive support of Rivers people where he get right now, or maybe that may just be the beginning, of the end of his political career?
Well, it's not about Fubara. It's about the fact that your political class don't have integrity. They don't have honor. They are the most indisciplined set of human beings. They take the sovereignty of the people and they throw it to the pigs. A lot of people, a lot of political pundits believe that it is the governors, because they have money, they are the ones that decide the vote in their states.
Yes.
See, let me tell you the truth, Precious. Like I keep saying, when the Nigerian people are ready, when they are ready, when this hunger, starvation, this hardship that is being bestowed on the people when it comes full circle, the governors will realize that they have one vote. And that is the truth.
Are you saying this because of what happened in 2023 election, where most of the Southeast states, even those that had a PDP strong governors, were unable to win their state for the president?
You see, what happened in 2023 was more like an awakening call to the Nigerian people.
But do you not think that that's because Buhari was, Buhari come out in hand, they just want to make people doing thing, but now we're basing at the
No,
president,
no, no, no,
Tinubu, now
no,
he's
no,
in
no,
charge.
no,
You just
no,
say,
no,
I
no.
will recall those
Buhari
reports
did
like
not
that.
say precious.
Sir?
Don't deceive us. Buhari did not come out his hand. You know, Buhari is a very crafty man. He's as crafty as your current president. Yes. Buhari is a very crafty man. Buhari didn't want to find himself where in a cul-de-sac. So Buhari just gave people the impression, let them go and contest. But then, as at that time, who was in charge of INEC? Was it Bola Tinubu? No, it was Buhari. So people should stop, spreading this narrative that in 2023, Buhari just looked the other way. He did not. He did what he's meant to do as a loyal party member. Now, bringing it back to your question, I know that a lot of people who are parading themselves as opposition members are not opposition.
Like who?
In 2023, you saw what happened when APC had their presidential convention. You know how many people bought tickets?
And then
you saw how everybody kept stepping down for one man. So a lot of us will know that most of the people who are parading themselves as opposition are not in opposition. The truth of the matter is that tribalism and religion is the bane of our problem.
But we're talking about South and Southeast here. How tribalism is coming inside those ones? Because most of the governors fingered in this issue are South and Southeast governors.
The governors in the South and Southeast, ask yourself, how did they win the election? Let us start with Mba. Have you forgotten that until tomorrow, NYNC insisted that Mba did not serve? NYNC insisted that the certificate he presented was fake.
Yes.
Or forged. So somebody must have done good work behind the scene for that certificate that has been declared as forged to become original. And when such debts are cleaned, the man who pays the cleaner has something to hold on to.
Oh, wow. So you think this is just about a deal?
That is what it is. Now, let us take Rivers State. Kwara stands, whether we like it or not. Like Wike said, he was almost gone. Whether the chief judge disappeared into the hole or not, another chief judge would have been appointed. And before you know it, Fubara would have been impeached. But as it is now, Fubara is now playing the politics that is expected of him. Don't forget, Adams Oshomole told Nigerians, when you join the APC, your sins are forgiven. So let me ask you, Precious.
Sir?
Do you think that if Fubara tomorrow comes to APC, that Wike will still have the power to stand against him? He will not. Because by so doing, he's standing against his boss. The same Delta state you are talking about, where the first lady comes from, where now our mama, now your mama, that's a place, you already know the politics going on there. So we are not bereaved of ideas. Our memories are not skipping us. So we know. So it's sad, it's shameful that PDP governors, those who won election under PDP, would open their eyes with what Nigerians are going through and become to APC. To what? After all, what are we even talking about? We had a team he called, what did he call that his group? PDP, 5 governors or whatever I call them.
The G5 governors.
Good.
G5 now.
You had Makinde. You had Wike.
You had Otom.
You had Otom.
You had Ugwanyi.
You had,
and you had Bazu. And by the way, Bazu and Ugwanyi have been, we hear they nominate them for ministerial appointment.
They must be settled. Wike has been settled.
You know that Otom publicly did not support the president. Out of all of them, it was only Otom that did not support the president publicly. In fact, he publicly declared his support for Peter Obi. And he spoke against the president during the
election. The truth of the matter, the truth of the matter is that Wike used the G5 to capture. And so when the likes of Makinde begins to talk and say he is a candidate for presidency, I ask him, Oga, you betrayed the Nigerian people. Are you sure you will not betray the presidency forgive you? The unfortunate thing is that the political class, they believe that the Nigerian people don't have common sense. They believe that the Nigerian people don't have memory. They believe that Nigerian people are just like computer, garbage in, garbage out. But I'm telling you that they will be shocked. They will be shocked that the people would wake up and look into the eyes of the leaders and say, we are done with this suffering. We are done with this impunity. We are done with this madness. We want our country back. And there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Irrespective of who endorses who. You know that, but the reason why this is a problem is because of, say, remember we're saying some governors don't come out and talk, and governors, workers don't come out and talk, say, when they do elections, say, now right is the right results. So you think, say, this thing not be because of, say, they know, say, then get the power to write result and call any result where they won't call. Now, waiting make it important for the president to get the support of these governors. Because if a Wike did not work for Tinubu the way he did as the sitting governor in 2023, do you think that Tinubu would have won River State? And would he have helped him? Or did that help him in winning the presidency? So you understand? So
precious,
no, not vex.
Precious, hold on.
You know, say love don't get lost with northerners. So you get to also get love for Southeast and South will be ordinarily a non-APC state, because Southeast and South, nobody will agree vote them for APC. But because say the APC will bring them to power, don't they get some kind of wahala? We'll go talk about already for North. You know, they normal say go one carry favor or get Ghana favor of South and
okay.
Southeast.
Let me tell you this. Look at Anambra State. You want to tell me that anybody outside APCA can win Charles Soludo in Anambra State?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Because it is not about Charles Soludo. The people have decided. Listen, the people have decided that you see this APCA, Awonkai, we will upload it.
So whether you do good or bad, even when a number of people are saying he's not
we
doing
will
good, no matter what happens.
And this is a
Okay.
message that a lot of us started preaching long time ago. For you to have a country like Nigeria where people will enjoy equal rights, the culture, the tradition, the religion of the people must be taken into consideration to give them a political party or a political platform for them to move forward.
Okay, sir.
So this is what is lacking.
Okay.
In the
So,
whole of Nigeria today,
mm,
cultures, traditions are being bastardized. And that is why
okay.
the leaders are doing what they want to do.
So going back to the River State issue, do you think that now that a particular group has written to the United Nations seeking the support of the United Nations to restore democracy in River State, do you think it
I
holds
beg, we
water?
could leave United Nations. Make them dey where they dey.
You sure see the
Make them dey, make
eh?
the team.
A whole United
Make them
Nations.
dey where they dey. If United Nations is that strong, seeing the disaster lying ahead in Nigeria in terms of insecurity, United Nations would have done something. United Nations will keep quiet until the anarchy becomes full blown. Then
No go
they
look
start,
again. It go blow.
they start thinking of how to move people, sending a flight to come and move people to rescue. No, no, no. They don't want that. The problem of River State has nothing to do with United Nations. It has to do with the people. Until the people are ready to stand up and say, you see this state of emergency, we no agree. But Nigeria has turned into a state where everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. Because nobody is even sure that after dying, there's a heaven. That's the ugly situation we have
Okay,
found
so let's
ourselves
quickly
in.
okay, so let's quickly move forward to what happened today. What Bishop Kukah and Bishop Bakare said. So starting with Bishop Kukah, Matthew Kukah, Bishop of the Catholic Diocese Sokoto, has lamented widespread killings across the country, saying Nigeria is becoming a national morgue. That is a national mortuary under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's watch. Now, Mr. Kukah or Bishop Kukah, in his 2025 Easter homily titled, Mr. President, please bring us down from this cross, condemned widespread killings and kidnappings across the country. Every day, innocent citizens are kidnapped, according to him, and held under the most inhumane conditions. Mr. Kukah said, a dark pall of death hangs languidly from north to south. It is impossible to find a home, a family, or a community that has not been caught in the cusp of this savagery. He added, Mr. President, Nigeria is reaching a breaking point. The nation is gradually becoming a huge national morgue, a huge national mortuary, as you may know it, with a greater sense of urgency, hastening to bring us down from this cross of evil. That's what he talked. He talked a lot of things. So he lamented the suffering among Nigerians, adding that these times of great suffering should be times of hope beyond human imagination, a hope which he said a lot. But we now also go to what Bishop Bakare said, Mr. Pastor Bakare, I mean, the General Overseer of the Citadel Global Community Church, Pastor Bakare, today, Sunday. He said that Nigeria is descending into tyranny and abuse of power under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bakare said those in power are determined to destabilize Nigeria's political institutions. In his State of the Nation address in his church in Lagos, Bakari decried Nigeria's escalating poverty and economic hardship. He even did mention that the president is running the government like a mafia, He's running Nigeria like a mafia organization. I like us to take a listen to him say what he said, because sometimes they say, Lisa be one person say, na Python it because so make we hear and talk with his own mouth so that we can
Fellow
put a better
citizens,
perspective to what he said.
at the center of this political banditry is the motor park brand of politics, nurtured by the old brigade politicians, and in recent times by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Mr. President, it is through your influence that the Nigerian National Assembly has become a haven for legislative rascality. Mr. President, it's under your watch that the National Assembly has become an extension of the executive, grossly violating the principles of separation of powers and rubber stamping the whims and caprices of your office, all while singing the international anthem of psychoviolence on your mandate, which shall stand. Mr. President, thanks to your political machinations, Nigeria is now bedeviled by a captured National Assembly, the most ineffective in its checks and balances role since the start of the Fourth Republic. In 2006, the Fourth National Assembly had the audacity to reject the tenure extension bid of a sitting president. In 2010, the Sixth National Assembly summoned the courage to stand against the power hijacking cabal and restore Nigeria to the path of constitutionality by invoking the doctrine of necessity. In 2011, the House of Representatives of the Seventh National Assembly had the courage to elect its leaders, as did the Senate of the Eighth National Assembly in 2015, defying executive interference. This National Assembly, the 10th, has by its unconstitutional endorsement of the president's abuse of powers proven to be the most spineless in our recent history. Through its actions and inactions, the National Assembly has in effect become the 48th member of the president's cabinet. Why?
Okay, all right, you hear him. He attacked, he said they'd be the 48th member of the president's cabinet, saying that they'd be the most spineless National Assembly way done day. And then he said more, he said that the president is running his administration like a mafia organization and that we need to check him. Say he no, we no go fit continue like that. Say make President Tinubu say he dey run, say he dey play God. Say he dey play himself as God. Now a lot of people are surprised that Pastor Tunde Bakare is finally speaking up. Person wey be say we know, say of course people they call him one of the allies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'd like to take a reaction to what he said.
Well, let me start by congratulating him for having the balls to speak out. I congratulate him. But let me also remind him that during the time of Jonathan, he didn't sit down in the church to address issues. He joined to mobilize Nigerians on the streets to protest for insecurity, for increasing, removal of fuel subsidy. Now, these two things have happened, and Nigerians are going through the pain of that subsidy removal. Nigerians are crying over insecurity. He sits in his church, air-conditioned church, and he's telling me that he's running a government like a mafia. He should come out and bring his people out, bring all those that joined him to come to Ojota. Let us go to Ojota and begin a protest. Then I will know he's serious. So I'm not moved by the speech he has given. The speech does not move me. If he's serious about his speech, and if he's serious about the change he is talking about, if he's serious about getting freedom for the Nigerian people, if he's serious about curbing insecurity and hunger in Nigeria, Oga Pastor Bakare, I beg, make we go Ojota. We'll start the journey from there. Then we will know that you are serious. Now, coming to Reverend Kukah, Reverend Kukah has always been speaking his mind. But I liked what he said in his opening speech. He says, "He goes down from the cross." If you go and watch the movie, the Passion of the Cross, if you go and watch the movie, and you see the way they nailed Jesus on the cross with blood and everything gushing out, do you know the joy a Nigerian would have if that cross happens to be bad governance? If that cross happens to be insecurity, if that cross happens to be poverty, if that cross happens to be lack of employment, if that cross happens to be lack of good medical care, if that cross happens to be lack of quality education, do you know how happy Nigerians will be if you bring them down from that cross? So I
Now,
totally agree with him. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, abeg, we don't there for that cross, so we don't tire. Bring us down. This is what you promised us.
so do you also agree with the fact that Nigeria is becoming a national morgue, like a national mortuary, where people are dying every
Precious,
day?
when we started, I said Nigeria has turned into a killing field.
Ew.
That's what Nigeria is. Because there is no day you wake up from sleep that you don't read on the headlines of newspapers of a community that has been attacked, the number of persons have been killed, people have been kidnapped, all sorts and then we ask ourselves, when will this ever stop?
Okay, now speaking about some of the things that Bishop Pastor Bakare mentioned about running Nigeria like a mafia organization or a mafia country and all that. Interestingly, not the only person we don't try to mention that kind of thing where the president did before. Remember, in former deputy, one Mrs. Bucknor, she also don't talk about that kind of thing, insinuating that the president wants to lord over people and especially lording over Lagos. And whoever does not agree with him may not just be in his good books. Perhaps that may be the reason why he changed a lot of deputies during his 8 years tenure as the governor of Lagos. Look,
The whole
hear wetin
idea
she
in
talk that time.
APC
She
is
talk
that
about,
everybody
make we
should be
even marry am
serving
again.
one
When I get
man.
anything to do
And
with
if
this
you
one.
are not ready to serve that one man, then you are out, so to speak. And that one man is the person who decides who is who, and everybody has to worship him. Everybody has to bring dues to him, you know, and, it's not a political party. It's more like a mafia organization.
You were very close to him before now. Has he always been like that?
Very close to who?
The former governor.
Which funnel governor?
The president you were referring to.
Well, I was never very close to him. Yes, we were together in the Senate. We were together. We fought for the June 12th, restoration of June 12th, and I was his deputy. But certainly, if the way he treated me when I was his deputy governor was the way you treat somebody who's very close to you, then I'm sorry. I think it leaves much, much, much to be desired. I believe everybody's fed up with APC. What have they done for the people? They have impoverished the people. They have driven businesses away to other countries. So what is the benefit to the other ordinary person? People are starving. Very few people can even afford 1 square meal a day in Nigeria today.
Because a lot of people, a lot of people in Lagos have this feeling that APC is synonymous to Lagos, and Lagos is synonymous to the APC.
APC is not synonymous to Lagos, and Lagos cannot be synonymous to APC. Just because one person thinks that they have Lagos State in their pocket does not mean to say that APC is synonymous.
Okay, so that not a voice. You don't see her face. She be Kofoworola Bokno. She be the deputy governor of the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was governor of Lagos State. I think she was his deputy from 1999 to 2002. So around 2002, they come put her commode. When I had to get another, had an issue and she left. So going by waiting, she talk. We believe say and then waiting Bakari talk. If you look up, it did like say then get some similarities. What do you think? Why you think say people they speak like this about the
You see,
president?
Precious, you people you just like us to be repeating on this matter. I don't tell you
No
severally, I
vex
say,
now.
make I now come for broken. You
Thank you.
see, cup of water. When you carry cup of water, give monkey, you know the problem, to collect the cup back, Nadia Wahala day. Nadia the Wahala day. Bola Tinubu's style of governance did not start today. Those of us who were in Lagos when he was governor, we saw it play out. So we're not surprised. Even after leaving office as governor, he held sway. And that was why he formed the GSC. And he was on top of the GSC as a chairman. That is a Chinese, South Korea, North Korea style of leadership.
So is that enough to say that he runs both Lagos State and perhaps Nigeria now as like a mafia organization? That's a
The
question.
question you're asking, the answer is
Is it enough?
obvious. You and I are you and I are here when the Lagos State House of Assembly members, 90% or 97% of them came together and impeached their speaker, Obasa. And your president summoned them back to Abuja and said, go and reinstate him. And what did they do? They shouted, on your mandate, we shall stand. And they went back to,
Bakare
they came back to Lagos and reinstated him. Few days ago, there was a court judgment that declared the speakership of, what's her name? Is it Judicial also? As illegal.
Illegal.
And that all the sittings that they held during that period is null and void.
Null and void.
So what are we talking about? Which other way you want to define mafia?
Now, speaking about mafia, Shawari had said that Nigeria is a burial ground for people with good conscience. That's people with good intention or good intentioned people. And Nigeria is a burial ground for them. I'm always very scared to hear that. And that's why a lot of people want to japa. I don't like to state other things he said, but just speaking this particular thing he said, do you believe that Nigeria does not reward talent and therefore it is a burial ground for talent and hard work and people with good intention?
Now, with what we've seen so far, Nigeria is a country that kills its talents, kills its young ones. Showore, for once, got it right. But then, let me ask Showore, with all these media charts and all of that, what is his plan for Nigerian people? Because between you and I, if there's an election tomorrow, Showore will not get up to 50 votes.
Why would he not get up to 50 votes if he's a Nigerian with good conscience?
Oh, you heard what he said. A country that does not embody good conscience. That is why we looked at a man like Peter Obi and we preferred him, or the electoral system and the judicial system preferred him to the one you have today as president.
Even Wike told you that it's not good people that we should win election and be the most qualified that wins the election now.
So when people like Wike talk, you take him serious. And then I ask myself, if this is the mindset of Wike, how did he pass his exams to become a lawyer? Well, that's the question we should
We'll
ask.
talk about that his legal issue later on.
Because if you are telling me that if I read hard to pass an exam, I will not pass. But those who do not read and those who do magomago are the ones who should pass. Then there's a message he's sending about his own lifestyle and his qualifications. Now, but the truth of the matter is that, yes, we all know that there's a very big problem in terms of leadership, in terms of how we decide who will lead us. And this problem is more on our electoral process. So while everybody's advocating for 2027, we need to form a merger and all of that, I think that the CSOs in Nigeria should come together and begin to advocate for some change in the electoral process if we want to get it right.
In fact, Buba Galadima just said it. I think I carried it. I'm sure you heard that yesterday on the show where Buba Galadima talk say get my grandpapa say go fit carry back the waka they go anywhere. Say get us go use back move forward if we no change electoral reform for 2020. If we not change our electoral act, if we not seek for a change in the electoral act or have an electoral reform, say the election, say votes no go fit count for 2027. And that's scary though, because with the body language of this 10th assembly, you see them as people who be say go fit drive an electoral reform.
Well, for me, I don't think we have a National Assembly. That's the truth. I don't think we don't have a National Assembly that has the interest of the ordinary Nigerians at heart. The National Assembly you have today would rather make laws that will perpetuate them in office. Because they know that if you have an electoral law that allows for free and fair election, a lot of them will on their own recall themselves. Because that is how angry Nigerians are. And that's how angry I want Nigerians to get. I want Nigerians to get so angry that they will now realize that the voters' card they are holding can actually decide who their leader should be.
Okay, so let's quickly move into other issues very quickly. So today, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency intercepted a shipment of cocaine concealed in 20 sets of Islamic religious books bound for Saudi Arabia. Now, NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi said in a statement today, Sunday, that the cocaine consignment consisted of 20 parcels with a total weight of about 500 grams buried in pages of Islamic religious books. He said the seizure occurred on, I think, Tuesday, April 15th, when NDLE officers of the Directorate of Operations and General Investigation searched through export cargo bound for Saudi Arabia at the logistics firm. Nadia Naide for CM. Would you like to chime in on this very quickly? While we'll move on to other issues.
Oh, well, it's a good one. The NDLA is doing a lot of good work. And Buba Marwa is doing, he's a man I have a lot of respect and regards for. And I'll say he's doing a good job. But then you have confiscated these bags and all of that. Who are the owners? Why is it that you did not put a placard on the owners and put them on TV for us to see? That's also a flaw in our justice system. You catch Yahoo boys, you would display them. You catch somebody from the southeast with drug, you would display him. You catch from the south, you would display. Now that you're catching people who are going on Hajj, and we know that most of the people going on Hajj are my Muslim brothers from the north. So those bags did not just get there. Somebody owns them. There must be a name to it. So where are these people? Why have you not displayed them for Nigerians to see? He who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
Okay. All right. So moving in, I shall say you don't hear waiting Arewa youths and talk. Arewa youths and say they have officially disassociated themselves from a recent statement attacking former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, which was credited to one Adams Reuben, whom the group says is neither a member of non-repre. Now, the particular group lambasted Atiku over what he said, over his take on presidency and 2027 coalition and all of those. Say, no be Arewa go follow you do that kind of coalition. Now, the normal other Arewa youths now can't be like, say, we get faction for inside Arewa youths. One Arewa youth stay for, the other Arewa youth stay against. And with all the drama going on right now in politics and what's going on with the CPC faction of APC and northern leaders, what do you think is happening? with the youth
Well,
wing of
let me say this. Our youth has not been useful to the youth in the north. It has not, honestly speaking. These are just people who come together, collect money from politicians, share, and
But they help them gather
when those
votes.
who are giving them money tell them, oh, condemn this, they will condemn. Why is it that the Arewa youths have not come forward as a body to condemn headsmen for the onslaught they're foisting on the Nigerian people? Why have they not done that? But these are the same Arewa youths that came to condemn the killing of 14 hunters, supposedly hunters in Uromi. They're speaking from two sides of the mouth. The only way I will respect the current leadership of Arewa, and that's the only way a lot of Nigerians will respect them, let them come out and condemn what the Fulani headsmen are doing. Then we will know that, yes, these people are serious. That is on one side. Two, let them condemn their governors and their political leaders and elites that have made it impossible for the youths in the north to be educated. Education opens your mind. It broadens your sense of reasoning. So when they begin to achieve that, I would hail them. Now, talking about CPC, the elections are coming up. And so various groups believe that this is the time to make money from politicians. And I can assure you that the present APC government has money to share to ensure that they win 2027. So that's why you have subgroups here, different people. You have them in Labour Party. You have them in PDP. Now you have a faction in SDP. Now you also have a faction in APC. Everybody, these political jobbers, all they are seeking for is settlement. So as far as I'm concerned, they're just saying what they're saying, but deep down inside of them, it's all about what will come to their pocket that they're interested in.
Okay. All right. So let's move to River State very quickly. Where the Ogoni people don't they vex the talk. They say because if you like say they hear say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu one go back to oil exploration activities for inside Ogoni land and say then get their bill of rights where they say they don't state waiting their problems be and they get the right to state those problems then. But say President Tinubu be like say won't disobey those bills them or those things when they put forward now can't go ahead, go continue oil exploration. They don't they tell and say make it calm down because say make it no Congo follow for list of those leaders them we don't oppress Ogoni people. Because if you follow for the fight of Ogoni people from the death of Ken Saro-Wiwa to the death of the Ogoni 9, that is the 8 others, and other 4 Ogoni elders, say all of them are because of the struggle of the rights of Ogoni people. So beginning of oil exploration for Ogoni land without settling the core issues them, the environmental issues will be their main problem and where they within their rights. Say President Tinubu will become oppressor. Make you no kill a legacy of Nedeko and person we fight democracy. Make sure say you no go follow people go to tell and say nothing they happen. In fact, they even accuse the National Security Advisor of playing hanky panky because say you go call people then say maybe just they come they do like say they gist. But meanwhile, if they do guys without paying call attention to within their problems be. How you take serious matter, sir?
You see,
This one way they shake it.
when the new is it GMD or whatever they call him for NNPCL was appointed,
Yes,
I think the mandate he was given was to increase the oil from the current
production.
production to a very high product level. And for him to do that, they need to get into production from Ogoni. See, all this on Ogoni said that they gather. Now, see, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. When they want to start the exploration, they will start. You know why? Because your leaders have come to that conclusion that the people can only talk and they can do little.
Hmm.
And that is the truth. Because what they will do now, by tomorrow, they will look for the people who are leading this campaign. And you don't talk about settlement. That's their small money. They come tell the community, say, we don't settle so and so, wanna go meet them. The community will now face whoever the money was given to. They will start fighting with that person, and government will start their drilling job. So it's all about nothing is going to come out of it.
Okay, so moving on. Yeah, moving on. There is a response for Wiki as Femi Falana don't respond to Wiki as it get to do with the controversy way, surround Wiki national broadcast at the media party way. Do you remember say for inside that this thing in been talk say for people like Falana to come out and say uh, um that the Supreme Court's they like say in fact in talk say be like say Wiki they want jamming head together with the Supreme Court. But say you no go fit jamming head with the Supreme Court because some person wey know in right well. Femi say Falana say Wiki na the only person wey be say na lawyer wey be say they say make you go bench we never ever wey dey bench but we never ever face get one trial one case either in a trial court or an appeal court. He never ever did say na him be the person. Now, what is the bone of contention? That Falana interpreted the case of the 27 lawmakers, whether or not they defected, right? And then the Supreme Court mentioned what he did mention, without that case being under its jurisdiction. So Falana said he wasn't wrong by saying that that case was not yet before the Supreme Court, that the case was still in a lower court at the time the Supreme Court mentioned it, and that the Supreme Court saying that for you to prove that someone is a member of a party, in spite of video evidence and affidavit evidence showing that the person has decamped, you say that the person must carry, say we must present a party card and a party register to show say the person don't decamp. Say if Supreme Court set this precedent, say you don't make way for politicians to begin jump from one party to the other like prostitutes and send a dangerous precedent. And he saying beating chest, he wasn't talk not true. So say if waiting Wike they try do not to pitch in head against Supreme Court so that they will come maybe penalize them or anything. Say in there ready. If him feel saying talk waiting they wrong, making someone and before the body of benchers them, make them put them. In fact, he even quote say should be different Supreme Court justices, including Oputa and I think Justice Tanko will leave the other time. Say if be not talk, say make them the lawyers them. They also criticize them so that they go feel remind them of waiting through justice be. And that is the work that he is doing. He did say a lot, but that's a summary. What do you have to say about this?
Every profession has a criteria for promotion and a criteria for dismissal. And I think it's high time when we look at the bar and begin to ask, what is the criteria of somebody becoming a senior advocate of Nigeria? And what is the criteria of somebody being appointed into the body of benchers? We need to know. Because from what Fallon has said, Wike has never gone to court. He has never won a case, but he's a member of the body of benchers.
Yes.
How did he get there? And you know, Precious, that the body of benchers is the body that decides what the Supreme Courts do. They have an overbearing influence on the decisions and judgments of the Supreme Court. Are we now saying that a man who has never practiced law but is a lawyer is more qualified to become a senior advocate of Nigeria and a member of the body of benchers than a man who has been going to court and winning cases? When Dele Faretumi wrote his book and he was talking about the judicial system, like I keep saying, a lot of people took it out of context and said he was abusing Afe Babalola, but he was not. It was just an unfortunate situation that he ended up using a situation that involved Afe Babalola for illustration. But the truth is that the man took his time to point out the wrath in our judicial system. So these are issues that are calling for questions. And we need answers. And that is why I keep saying that the Nigerian people need to wake up and begin to question the decisions of government and ask questions and follow through. So the challenge we're going to have coming forward is, what are the criteria for becoming a member of the body of benchers?
Not be smart, because Falana repeat him again here. See, Wike is the only life bencher in Nigeria who has never handled a case in any trial or appeal court before. Say now waiting in be. And I can't even talk further. Say Wike they make himself the defender of the courts, especially defender of the Supreme Court. And saying a very dangerous thing in they do to be person we could always defend the courts for waiting the courts they do. Say if they allow person like Wike to defend the courts for court. Say because say after that judgment, say Wike go do Thanksgiving for church. Then as he do Thanksgiving finish, people they criticize the judgment. Now he begin defend the court and the judgment. Saying a very dangerous thing now the Supreme Court they do. So now
Okay, don't go further. Precious, for you to become a priest that pours libation for Amadioha, there is a process. If tomorrow a man who has never undergone any cleansing, any training, is now appointed as a live mouthpiece of Amadioha, what do you think will happen?
I won't take that. All right.
That is when you go and take a man that the community hates, that the community knows his pedigree, and make him an onowu. That community is finished.
Okay, so make I move on to other issue very quickly. So the family of Nnamdi Kanu don't caution the federal government over what they say is false narratives and media manipulation against the detained IPOB leader. Now, the family noted that with concern that the false narratives and media manipulation are orchestrated against Kanu to tarnish his image during the trial of terrorism charges filed against him by same government. So today, bottom line, they caution the federal government. Say, maybe they stop this thing. What did they do? We say you put case on top person head, but you do like say they bring matter inside the media to they make the person look bad for front of before the case they even go through. So they are warning government. Said the statement read, "We on behalf of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and his family, write to address the relentless and orchestrated campaign of misinformation being peddled by the Nigerian government through sponsored adverse media coverage. The deliberate effort seeks to falsely link IPOB to alleged insecurities and crimes in the southeast." Say they no go take am. Say this media coverage to deliberately link IPOB to the crime for the southeast, say na lie, with the clear intent to influence judicial proceedings in Abuja courts and tarnish Nnamdi Kanu's reputation before the international community, particularly in his next court hearing that is already approaching, that is in April 29, 2025. He said the pattern is unmistakable and predictable. Each time as Nnamdi Kanu's court date nears, a barrage of fabricated stories floods Nigerians' media, accusing IPOB of crimes and insecurity in the southeast. Recent examples include, they say, one, the latest being police nab three suspected IPOB members, recovers 10.3 million in Imo State. They say a lie. Police arrest three suspected IPOB members, recover 10 million naira. They say a lie. IPOB ECN hideout in Imo State. Three arrested as police bust IPOB hideouts in Imo State. In fact, they name a lot. They say these reports are part of a calculated media blitz designed to manipulate public participation and prejudice or prejudice the judiciary against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So this systematic defamation is not only an attack on Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB, but also a grave assault to justice and fairness. So they say they unequivocally condemn this manipulation of the judiciary and demand it it cease immediately. Your response, sir?
Well, there's something I've been expecting the IPOB, the Nnamdi Kanu family to clear Nigerians on.
Okay.
And that is the accusation that was made regarding the agreement between Sheyi, I remember they mentioned Sheyi Tinubu,
Yes.
and their family over the usage
Election. Okay.
of Nnamdi Kanu for the 2023 election.
Election, yes.
We haven't heard anything about that. Obviously, we know that, yes, at every point in time, we know that whenever the trial is coming up, that they use Nnamdi Kanu's, they use IPOB, the DSS, the DSS, the police. Everybody will come out and tell you how they have arrested millions, how they have arrested a lot of people that are members of IPOB and ESN. But then, why is it that they are not arresting these people in the north that are killing, kidnapping, and maiming people on a daily basis? Why is it that a state like Benue, a state like Plateau, a state like Niger, Kano, Kaduna can be attacked and you don't arrest people? You don't even know who they are. Is it that the intel they have works more in the southeast than it works in the north? So there is a lot of politicking about this holding to a hostage of Nnamdi Kanu by the federal government. And I think, like every other Nigerian have said, it's time. Let us find a political solution and release Nnamdi Kanu. It will be very shameful if what the presidency plans to do is to use Nnamdi Kanu as a bait for 2027.
Okay. All right. So just a reminder, if this is your first time of joining us, I beg now, or yeah, follow us like your village people now. Kindly click on the subscription button, follow us, and drop your comments, your thoughts, your reactions. Follow us, and just click on the subscription button so that I can move this ministry forward. Please, click on the subscription button, turn on your notification button so you follow us, and we could push the ministry forward. And unfortunately, I can't open phone lines tonight because I mean, the time is already fast spent. It is Easter, so I just thought to update you guys. So, Prince Francis, very quickly, I got the story about how the combination of one army officer and one other person joined together, hijack soldier, joined together, do car hijacking and armed robbery. Right? So the story is from Sahara Reporters that the police have arrested a Nigerian soldier for allegedly carjacking and armed robbery. Sources said that the soldier connived with a civilian to steal a Toyota Hilux vehicle in Lagos State. How possible is it that a soldier that is supposed to protect us would now be the one to also steal from us? If that is possible. Sir?
Precious, you know, the way you put your question sometimes makes me laugh.
Why would he laugh now?
You
And
know
they
why?
ask like a layman and they expect you to answer.
No, this is not layman. Nigeria, I've told you, Nigeria is a killing field. Nigeria is a country where anything goes. Nigeria is a country where your security men, your military men would rather use their uniform to escort a truck that has been cleared from a papa. They will escort it in uniform. You go and buy a car, you import a car, they will sit in front of the car and follow one way. That is what, if you want to know, go tomorrow morning, on Tuesday morning, go down to mile 2. You will see that almost all the imported cars that have been escorted out from the ports, they have military men sitting in front. So this is not news. It is not news. So we know, because the hunger in Nigeria today is real. But the hunger does not mean that people should embrace crime. But, like I would say, crime is not about a tribe. It's not about a religion or ethnicity. No. First of all, crime is an individual thing. So let us not forget it. Did the police tell you where the man comes from? They will not tell you. Did they mention his name?
No.
They will not mention his name. And we know why. So let us leave that matter.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prince Francis Chilaka. I appreciate you. So thank you. Thank you, sir. Let me let you go. I know it's already very late. Thank you for obliging me this time in spite of how late it is to come and educate Nigerians of things that happen for the country. I appreciate you big time. Thank you so much. And happy Easter to you. Happy Easter to all my Christians who they celebrate Easter. I love you guys and I appreciate you. Kindly help me subscribe and also like on this post. Share this post if you can, so that people will continue to be informed on things happening in our country. You know, an informed mind, say they take the right decision. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you again tomorrow afternoon and then tomorrow evening too, hopefully. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Good night and God bless you.